I have officially lost all my marbles and I'll strive to never find them. Hello and welcome to Mojo, and today we're going to take a look at Tails Gets Trolled. Tails Gets Trolled is a wonderfully odd webcomic, with a format similar to a shonen manga, like Dragon Ball Z or One Piece, but made with the bizarreness from DeviantArt, from a guy who's likely high as a kite. Another comparison would be Sonichu, but they're both very different, as Tails Gets Trolled is generally liked. And the difference in reputation is fairly simple, just by comparing what this comic has and what Sonichu lacks. The story focuses on not just Tails, but other characters who are associated with an organization called the Troll Slayers, the ones who actually fight the menacing trolls. And on this list, we are going to be doing the top 10 Troll Slayers. Now, they don't need to have a proper title to be on this list, just that the characters have to be associated with the group or former members of said group. Not helping that many of the original Troll Slayers disbanded very quickly, and many of the new ones don't have a lot of character for now. So, due to this context, as long as they are against the trolls, they will be qualified. We determine the results by going around the office, and our employees will put their votes in a hat. But Mojo is only made by one person, me. All that stuff still happened, just with a lot more mental illness. Before we start, spoiler warning for some of the events in the comics. Number 10. Mario the Firepower. Mario is a fairly odd character to be on this list. While the actual Super Mario is an all-loving hero, the same cannot be said within the comic, as he's more closer to Jumpman, where he's a lot more villainous, and joins the Troll Slayers for a very brief time. However, this all turned out to be a ruse for their own personal revenge against the trolls, and to hell with everyone else. While he is very powerful, utilizing many power from the games, he's fairly low on the list because he's a freaking asshole, as his betrayal cost the Troll Slayers many deaths and possible resources. While Timo may be considered a bastard, I think that title is more fitting with him. However, Luigi was the one doing all the dirty work, as Mario was the brains. However, this would be related to our next choice on the list. Number 9. Elmer Fudd. Starting as somewhat antagonistic to the Troll Slayers, he only had interest in killing bugs, but afterwards, he would aid Silver for the rest of the comic. But that all changed when it was discovered that he is a new troll, with powers of necromancy, able to control corpses, and obtaining knowledge by eating brains. And some of the corpses he obtained were fairly powerful characters, such as Luigi or Dr. Eggman. Although most of the time, he's away from the team, so we don't see many of his exploits to his full potential yet. So Luigi's corpse is in better hands instead of the trolls. Or Luigi being alive at all. Number 8. Bowser, the real firepower. While Mario and Luigi were awful throughout the comic, just by comparison, Bowser is a lot more likable, and it seems that Bowser is a lot more loyal to the troll cause than either of the two, even showing he is just as powerful, if not more so. This is even more notable as Eggman in the comic is also changed to be a lot more eviler, and he's even disturbed by some of the hardcore action Shadow does. Bowser defends his Goomba companions from being trolled by committing mass villains and burning them alive. What a nice guy. Number 7. Knuckles. Knuckles is one of Tails' closest friends, who for some other reason stumbles his way to the Troll Slayers team, usually coming up with genius plans with mixed results. Although, to be fair, most of his plans involve getting high, which he ends up doing, so they did technically work. He goes lower on the list because he's still a freaking moron. Sure, helping Tails to get away from the cult, and giving everyone gonorrhea was a good idea. Kind of. He still left Tails to wander on his own, while he fucks around with the Troll Slayers willy-nilly. Oddly enough, Knuckles is a lot more useful than some of the earlier members on the list, and some of the original Troll Slayers. At least his friendly fire was a total accident. Number 6. Hulk, the Power. Hulk is a fairly unique character in the comic. Canonically, the Hulk is one of the strongest characters in the Marvel lineup, which is saying a lot considering how many heroes there are. But we never get to see that outside a few instances. He seems to be more closer to Bruce Banner than the actual Hulk, being one of the more sensible characters to debate alongside Shadow with his plans. I do think there's some untapped potential that we have yet to see, but will be shown when the time is right. Number 5. Tails. Now, Tails isn't officially a Troll Slayer. He doesn't really participate in most of these fights, having to hear about the results afterwards. But his time with the cult did give him a huge arsenal with new powers, such as enhanced reflexes, able to manipulate chakra, and being able to fly like a badass. And while he may be starred in survival mode now, I'm very confident eventually he'll be great use of the Troll Slayers group, and eventually stop his main nemesis, Chester Cheetah. Number 4. Shadow, the Awesome. Shadow was one of the original and the most ruthless of the Troll Slayers. However, he is lower on the list because while he's a decent leader, well, okay, maybe not, he can be equally as disloyal and incompetent as Mario. And he has a larger kill count than anyone else because he destroyed an entire city out of pure rage, even having possible ties of being a former troll himself. To build on the Dragon Ball Z comparison, he has more in common with Vegeta than he does with Shadow, somewhere between the Namek and Cell arc. Oddly enough, in some of the games, Shadow ends up being more closer to the trolls. Like in Sonic Boom, he shows up, calls Sonic names, refuses to elaborate, and leaves. Number 3. Wile E. Coyote, Genius. Early within the comic, Coyote helped aid the original Troll Slayers for their awesome fucking plan. It's easy to forget that Coyote was actually a fairly smart character, but he would constantly be humiliated by the Roadrunner, and more rarely, Bugs Bunny. But they're both dead now, so he actually gets to show off that side of the character even more than the shorts. Also, he was voted a lot more in the hat poll, which again is just me, but whatever, just let's move past this. As he is a neutral, he is able to utilize the Roadrunner as his intense speed can cut enemies in a flash. And this is shown during his fight with Tomorrow, who's not technically a troll. But it does show how much of a threat he could be with many of the troll characters, who also have a very increased power level. The intensity of the battle only escalates throughout the chapters. On an unrelated note, thank goodness I actually want the show where he talks, as it makes the chapters funnier to read. And growing up with the Tom and Jerry movie also helps too. Number 2. Rob, the guy with no ears. The most original character on the list, Rob was portrayed to be a simple guy with a burst effect, being out of the loop with many of the team's plans, with occasional panels of him just saying what. But there's more to his burst than his defect, as he is actually a Dragonborn. I think it's from Skyrim or something, I don't know. Which gives him many different powers such as Fire Breath, Aura Whisper, which I'm guessing is like Sonic Scream or whatever, and including having the power of a Super Saiyan. And with all these different elements mixed together, Rob becomes a very beloved fan favorite throughout the comic. I was gonna do a slot for honorable mentions, but then I realized it would have just been a random slideshow with dead air, and it would look really stupid, so I decided not to do it. But I guess I could put him in this section. Oh god damn me. Number 1. Silver, the money guy. Silver the Hedgehog in the main Sonic franchise is a fairly mixed character. But in the Tails Gets Troll series, he is a very competent leader in the, I guess, branch of the Troll Slayers? I'm not really sure, it's not really clear. Lacking the extreme ruthlessness of Shadow that only holds them back, Silver relies on wit and working with his comrades with more practical methods to take down the trolls. He even impersonated trolls' behavior so well that he accidentally became a troll legend. Also helps that his party contains very powerful characters, like Rob, Blaze the Cat, Wile E, Coyote, and the other neutrals. And not to mention the uses of his powers are fairly video game accurate. Very nice touch. So, what is your favorite Troll Slayer? Let us know in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see some other content, hope to see you soon.